Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Luis here, Green Zebra Gardening. Today we're at the plot. I'm gonna clean this up. I'm gonna try and set up a time lapse just so you guys can see what I'm doing here. I pulled out already a bunch of onions, a couple of cabbages, a broccoli, and I'm about to trim back that tomato plant over there. It already has some fruit on it. It looks like it's some kind of cherry, and so I'm just gonna trim it back, probably the single stem. Tomato over there. Broccoli that's given us a main head and a bunch of little side shoots. A bunch of onions with rust. A couple cabbages under there. We have, I think these are jackpea little pumpkins, now that I'm thinking about it. I thought these were actual sunflowers, but they're not. Lots of basil. We have some eggplants and tomatoes in here. So the idea is tomato, tomato, tomato. Trim that tomato. Top off this section and that section over there with compost. Top off the back half of this because the nasturtiums was taking up like half that back of the bed, like the center piece of it. This whole front has already been topped off. I have my mulch bag around here somewhere. Oh, it's over in the wheelbarrow by the compost bin, by the compost. So I'm gonna top off the back side of this. I'm gonna take off that mulch because it looks like there's a lot of roly-poly. So that's why I brought my own mulch. Because for whatever reason, this batch of mulch we have over here, which is actually not that much left now, has a lot of roly-polies. And I had some radishes coming up and they were all eaten alive. The radishes anyway. So I'm gonna remove all that, try and get rid of all that. I did bring my homemade worm bins. I'm going to try and dig some of these out a little. Let me show you. Fix these. The mulch is right here. And see what I can do. I think I planted onions going all the way around. I don't remember. But I've got the tomatoes that are going to go on these T-posts. One per T-post. I'm going to try and string them up. And then I'm thinking I'm going to plant basil all around it. I didn't bring any seeds. I don't think I did. But I want to get the bulk of it done. Let it settle for a minute and then we'll see how it goes. All right. Oh, and whatever the hell is digging this up over here, I'm not even sure. And I did pull an onion over there. I just didn't actually take it off to add it to this pot. Anyway, less talking, more working. Alright, so you guys saw from that side of there I did this one. So I went ahead and, as you saw, took off the top layer of soil. I knocked off all the mulch. I knocked off some of the soil because a lot of those had the roly-polies. You can actually see them. I think they were hanging out on the side over here. I still haven't even touched the inside bed other than taking out the nasturtiums. So I went through, I dug this out, I fixed the back to make sure that this closes correctly. I refilled it back up with what was in there. I broke up, I don't know how much you guys saw in the time lapse, but I broke up the cabbage leaves that came off of the cabbages and then some other leafy greens that I had. I went ahead and trimmed back the hell out of the tomato. It's in that bin over there with a couple of sage branches that I knocked off of the plant here. Put them in there. Because the tomato, anything in the nightshade family does not go into the community compost here. Everything, all that goes home or out. They carry too much diseases and whatnot. So, and I don't even put it in here. And so I went through and I cleaned this all out, fixed the Subpod mini, harvested a decent size. I put stuff in it, but a decent amount of it. And so then that's what I ended up using in the holes for the 5 plants. That's one thing I didn't do. I didn't actually top dress this one, but I did use that grow mulch, which I know is supposed to feed the soil as well. As of right now, like I said earlier, I don't have any seeds with me. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back. I'm going to let this stuff settle in. I'm going to water it in. I'm going to do the rest of the plot, but I'm going to water it in. And then maybe tomorrow and later this week, I'm going to seed maybe just some French breakfast, like something easy, quick to grow. And then that way, it'll give these guys some time to kind of fill in. Yes, the basil I will thin down as you harvest it. You harvest it from the stems, and so it ends up pushing out. I don't know what size that zinnia is, so that's why I only put one in there. I have the one little cup. I split the basil there and there. The watermelon here, that's the one that grew at the plot here last year. The kids loved it, and so throw the slugs back in there, let them eat that. And so hopefully, I'm thinking it might just grow around, because on these vertical supports, I'm going to put in what I think is the Jackby little pumpkins. Imagine a bunch of little mini pumpkins hanging off of there. That'd be pretty badass. Anyway, so this side is done. The only thing I need to do is water it in. I'm going to do the watering at the end. You got to do it low to the ground because you don't want any of these plant leaves getting wet, because then with this heat, it will bring in the powdery mildew. So I will also go ahead and water these in. And I'm going to now close this, which I can now actually clip how it should be. Topped it off the mulch, and we're gonna leave that alone. My next task is to get more of that compost. Top off this side, clean this up, clean up the tomato plant. This is a Better Boy, I believe, so I'm gonna do the same thing with this one that I did with the other one. I'm gonna trim off all the leaves. Clean it up, top dress the entire thing in compost, get rid of all that mulch, top dress it, and then I do have another bag of the grow mulch in the car. I just didn't know if I was going to need it or not. I probably will, but you never know, because I also have the big central one. So I'm going to do the back side once I fix all that, just like I did that bed. I'm then going to plant all the little cucurbits going all the way around. I'm thinking I might do 2 tomato plants, one on either side, and then that way we have the 3 tomato plants back here, the cucurbits back here. I wanted to do Armenian cucumbers and like the Minnesota midgets, but I have those. I don't have the Minnesota midgets at home, but I do have the melons at home. And I don't think that I actually brought any of the Armenian cucumbers, because I just kind of wanted to get rid of all the little mini pots of, let me show you these real quick, of all these. These look amazing, and so I'm thinking I'm just going to wrap them all around. Like I said, I think these are Jack Littles, the mini pumpkins, those little decorative pumpkins that you find at the store. Anyway, I'm going to clean all this up. I will come back and show you what this looks like after. Then I'll do that one. I'll do the same thing with that one. And then the middle one over here is going to be my last one. I think that's going to be my piece de resistance. And I think that's where actually all of the eggplants are going. And I might throw in a watermelon in here just to like have it go down the middle or something. Or I might stick it over here on this end just like I did that one. Like my OCD is just on that one is going to be insane. Oh, so this is a volunteer tomato, so don't ask what this is because I don't have a clue. I honestly don't even remember what this one was. I think this was the Black Beauty. But this one, no, I don't have a clue. It looks like maybe a cherry of some kind. I don't know. But I did trim it back. We do have some more. I did loosely tie it on here. I do need to keep on top of these suckers. So this is a sucker. This right here in the middle is a sucker. This is going to turn into a whole nother plant. And because I don't have the support here, I can't support it. What might end up happening is this might actually end up going into this here, and it might like tangle up in there. But for now, this is being held pretty well by this cage. It's already up top. I definitely have some more of these, I think, over there in between the two beds. So I might put some of those in there, kind of like I'm going to do with those. But less talking, more walking, or more working. Oh, real quick, let me see what variety of tomato that is. It's like one of 4. Oh, the orange peach. This is supposed to be like a fuzzy little peach. So we shall see how that goes. Sounds pretty cool. Alright. I'll set you guys up on the time lapse on this one, just because it's going to be a long one. Okay. I may or may not have left that time lapse in, but it's all cleaned up for the most part. Now I'm going to go over to the compost pile, sift out probably about another wheelbarrow full, top this off. Whatever's left over I'll probably just toss into the middle bed for now. Yeah, and let's keep it going. Yeah, it's been a couple hours. So you guys watch me do that. I just found that trellis thing, so I'm going to use that. I set up the cages on this side, the T-post. I went ahead and swapped this one out, or not swapped it out, but like turned it around, fixed it. That way it's not all broken in. That one over there is kind of pissing me off just because the left side is a tiny bit higher than the right side, but you know what, I'm going to let it go. This one looks okay. I went ahead and planted the cucurbits all the way around. I said I think these are Jack B. Littles. I don't know. I don't have a clue. You guys saw me plant that one. Planted the tomato and the basil. I'm going to refill those growers. Clean this guy up. Loosely tied it to the teepee. Put in the wires just because birds and animals and crap. Planted the other tomato. Planted some basil. I didn't realize I was going to be short of tomato because I ended up planting 1, 2, 3, 4. For whatever reason, I didn't think I was going to put them in the back. I don't know. It may have to be a repeat, but I don't want to do that. So what I might do is I might go and see if I can find a Aunt Ruby's German green, because I do love this. Maybe a green zebra. But so I think I left the last time I left you guys. We had just topped this off with the compost, or just before I did that. So I went ahead and topped that off with the compost. Lit it all out, removed all the extra mulch, kicked it out here. Transplanted all these guys in, added the mulch, watered everything in. Did the same thing to this one as I did over there. I ran out of zinnias because I put some in the front over there. I put eggplant, 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 eggplant. These are the mystery eggplants. These are the volunteers that came up. The middle one is the midnight moon. I put in, right in the middle, I put in those watermelons. I kind of peppered in some zinnias. And then I put 2 of those same unknown cucurbits. I'm thinking they'll just grow down the middle, just like the watermelon. I do want to come in and plant some radishes or beets or something quick. Maybe another bag of onion sets. But I don't know that I want to do more onions. I've got a bunch of them at home now, especially with the rust here. There's nothing planted in the middle, but again, I wanted to put some kind of mesh down. On the middle bed, I had the worm castings that I pulled out of that one over there. I had been filling them in all the holes, but I still had a decent amount left, and I don't want to mix it in with the other one that I brought from home. So I just kind of like poured it all over there, mixed it in here. I did not top these off with the compost from here just because I'm too dang tired. But I did go ahead and I pulled out a good chunk of the soil, almost all of the soil on this side, just so I can get this thing sorted, and then just basically backfilled it in. Watered it in all really well. Put in the tomato, put in the basil. I gotta come back with the tomato on that one, and then the basil. And then I do have seeds from miniature zinnias. I think it's called Lilliput mix from like a year or two ago. They did really well here, and so I'm gonna just kind of, again, pepper them in, mix them in, and add some more color. We have 3 zinnias up front. We have 2 more back here. We had some back here, but they didn't do all that well. I don't know what the varieties are. These are from the zinnias. I just threw a bunch of them into pots, and let's see what the hell's gonna grow. Overall, I'm very happy with everything that's been done today. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna go get some lunch. I don't know if I told you I put a watermelon over there. I was gonna do one over here, and I might have plants, but at this point they're all in the car. I'm exhausted. I did put a zinnia over there. Alright. There's a what's it called over here? A medical center or whatever. And so ambulances come through pretty regularly, making lots of sound. Anyway, I think that's it for now. Topped it all off. I finished off the bag and like 3/4 of the mulch stuff, the grow mulch that I had. I used 1.5 maybe, or 1.25 at home, and then I used almost 2 full bags here. I get a chunk over there, I get a chunk of it back here, I get a chunk over here, but most of that second bag literally just went in here. It's really thick in here, but because it's so broken down, I don't think we're gonna have an issue with just seeding directly into it. And so I'm definitely gonna put in some radishes. I've got different varieties of radishes that I want to use up. Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for this one. I guess that's gonna be it. Go ahead and hit the bell notification, the subscribe button, the thumbs up. Questions, comments, concerns, constructive criticism, please, in the comments below. Find me on IG, find me on Threads, find me on... I have a Facebook page for Green Zebra, but I think I might have deactivated it. Anyways, catch you guys in the next one. Peace.